Hello friends. So till now we have studied speed control of three-phase induction motor. Uh, we have used methods such as varying the supply voltage, varying the supply frequency in the form of V by F control, and we have seen that the speed of induction motor could be changed as per our need. Um, there are some more specific speed control methods for induction motor. First of all those methods which we have studied till now, that is applicable uh, for squirrel cage induction motor as well as slip ring induction motor. But there are some more method of speed control that could be applied to slip ring induction motor. Uh, the advantage which we have in slipping induction motor is that we can insert extra resistances in our rotor winding. Uh, so what happened? We should see the our torque expression, the electromagnetic torque generated by uh, induction motor. If we see that, let us see first of all the equivalent circuit. So here it is the equivalent circuit. So this is supply voltage, this is stator resistance, this is approximated model. I have removed uh, the parallel branch of magnetizing reactance and just simplified this so that it could be uh, more understandable regarding speed control. So what we can see here is the supply voltage. These are the stator resistances, stator reactances. Then there is a rotor resistances which has been divided by S, the slip of induction motor. And this is the rotor reactance. These two are referred quantities from rotor to stator. So if we see now, if we change this rotor resistance, so what will happen? If we change this rotor resistance, maintaining this RR dash by S constant. So we are varying this RR dash and maintaining this RR dash by S to be constant. So what will happen? So exactly there will be no effect on IR dash. We can see this circuit will be same. So IR dash will be same. So there will be no effect on the rotor current. And if we go on see our air gap power is IR dash square RR dash by F. Actually, I should correct this because a this is a power loss in the rotor winding per phase, not power loss. This is the air gap power, but we have taken per phase equivalent circuit. So a 3 should be multiplied here. So we will use a 3. So a 3 will be multiplied here because we are talking about three phase. So everywhere there will be a 3 which we have based in last lecture. So from here if we calculate our torque here as well, it should be a T3. Okay, this is our last expression. After that we assumed our slip. We uh, we drawn the torque slip characteristic between operating region and unoperating region. For slip nearly equal to 1 and for slip nearly equal to 0. That's why we proceeded. But here I want to I want to make clear the effect of increasing the rotor resistance. So here the torque expression also includes this RR dash by S quantity in the numerator and the denominator. So if this RR dash by S quantity is maintained constant, so your torque will be constant and maximum torque also will be constant. But the same torque will be achieved at a higher slip. So this we should do. This will be your fourth type, and this is also your unit 8, the slip ring induction motor. So we are going to do rotor resistance control. Rotor resistance speed control. So your electromagnetic torque will be constant if your RR dash by S is constant. So it will be constant. Now if we increase our RR dash, so your slip will also be increased. It means we will get the same torque but at increased slip. So how it will look like? Just let me draw the graph so it will be more clear for you. So let us say this is torque slip characteristic for some resistance. Now let us say this is T E TE1. Okay. Now I go on increasing resistance. So the same TE1 will exist for a higher RR dash, let us say RR2, so which will achieve at higher slip. So when this is at this slip, let us say this is S1, so we can draw the torque slip characteristic and it will attain the same torque. It will attain the same torque but at different slip, and we can extend this, and this will be your torque slip characteristic for RR2, where RR2 is greater than RR1. So you can see uh, we have attained the same torque but at increased slip. So this is increased slip. This is at S is equal to 0 and this is at S is equal to 1. Okay. And here we can see the maximum torque is same in both conditions because this quantity is same. So our maximum torque will be same. But there is a difference between starting torque. So our starting torque has increased. Why? Why? Because this electromagnetic torque is directly proportional to this RR dash. So if we go on in that expression, let us see that expression value. This you have done in your machines class, but we can do it here as well. So this is the torque expression. So here there is a factor which is RR dash that is coming in numerator, and there is another factor RR dash that is coming in denominator. So let us say if we double this resistance, so your torque is directly proportional to this RR dash. So your torque, if we at the starting condition, if we want to see, then this slip will be 1 because at the starting this omega r is 0. So slip will be 1. So we can replace this slip. Now this torque will be directly proportional to this RR dash. So if we go on increasing this RR dash, your starting torque will increase. Yes, this RR dash is also in the denominator, but this RR dash the total value of this denominator depends upon the relative change of this RR dash with respect to this RS. Let us say RS is 1 and RR dash is 0.3, 0.5. So if we double this RR dash, then what it will become? It will become 1 plus 1, that will be 2. And previously what it was? It was 1.5. So there is just the denominator is just changing from 1.5 to 2. But above expression in numerator, the quantity is changing from 0.5 to 1 directly. So the numerator is increasing to twice and this denominator is increasing just by 33%. So there will be a considerable increase in the starting torque. Mind you, we are talking about T starting, so let me write it here so that you are not confused in what we are talking about. So we are talking about T starting, which will be 3 Vs square Rr dash upon omega s Rs plus Rr dash whole square plus Xs plus Xr dash whole square. These all are referred quantities. So mind you, Vijay has asked that we should include this dash or not. So I might have missed some this dashes, but you should always remember that these are referred quantities. So you have always include the dash. So this is the expression which we are talking about. Okay, so it should be clearer from this. Now let us go to our torque speed characteristic. So now let us say that this TE1 was TL. So this is our load torque. Now I am replacing this. So this is our load torque. Let me just take. Okay, fine. This is fine. So this is our load torque. Now we can remove this and we can say this has to be our load torque. So now this was the operating point. Previously this was the this is A operating point, and if you want to shift this A to half of this in here as to be B, then what we need to do, we just need to increase the resistance of um, the resistance of the rotor winding such that this torque slip characteristic goes on like this, and it will go on like this. So this we can shift our now the new characteristic is where the intersection point is the characteristic of motor and the load characteristic matches at B. So we have shifted from A to B. So this is our new operating point. So this is how we can change the operating point of an induction motor, of a slip ring induction motor, by inserting the rotor resistance. But there is a drawback of this speed control. So as we know, the rotor resistance has increased and the rotor current is maintained constant. So there will be higher I square R loss in the rotor resistance and the efficiency of the drive will reduce. So there will be more losses. So next time in next class we will study some electronic method how to control this rotor resistance electronically. Okay, thank you for